Once upon a time, in the glittering sprawl of Silicon Valley, where innovation and ambition intertwined like the circuits of a motherboard, lived the Vanderbilt family. They were old money reimagined for the digital age, descendants of railroad barons who had pivoted to venture capital and tech investments in the late 20th century. At the center was matriarch Victoria Vanderbilt, a formidable woman in her mid-60s with sharp features and a wardrobe of power suits that could intimidate even the boldest startup pitch. Her husband, Harold, had passed away a decade ago, leaving her to rule the family empire with an iron fist. Their daughter, Serena, was the jewel of the crown, beautiful, Ivy League educated, and a rising star in the family's VC firm, Vanderbilt Ventures. Serena's marriage to Ethan Klein had been a shockwave through the family's polished facade. Ethan appeared from obscurity, a quiet man from a nondescript suburb in Oregon with no notable lineage, no flashy resume, and what Victoria often sneered at as no drive. They met at a tech conference where Serena was keynote speaker and Ethan was merely an attendee, lingering in the back rows. Serena, captivated by his unassuming intelligence and gentle humor, fell hard. Against her mother's furious protests, they married in a small ceremony in the mountains. "He's pathetic," Victoria had declared when Serena brought him home, "a leech with nothing but a shy smile and empty pockets." Ethan moved into the Vanderbilt estate, a modern marvel of glass and steel overlooking the Bay Area, complete with infinity pools, a private gym, and a staff that regarded him with polite indifference. From the outset, he was an outsider. Victoria assigned him trivial roles, managing the household tech setup, running errands for the family business, as if to underscore his insignificance. "If you're going to sponge off our success, at least fix the Wi-Fi," she quipped during his first family dinner. Serena, torn between her mother's dominance and her love for Ethan, defended him softly but often deferred to Victoria's authority in public. She worked grueling hours at Vanderbilt Ventures, leaving Ethan to wander the vast home alone. He spent his days in the home office, tinkering with gadgets and reading obscure tech journals that the Vanderbilts dismissed as hobbies for the unemployed. When he offered mild suggestions during rare family strategy sessions, they were brushed aside. "Stick to rebooting routers, dear," Victoria once said, her laughter echoing through the room. But Ethan was no ordinary man. Unknown to all, he was the enigmatic founder of Nexus Innovations, a stealth mode tech unicorn that had revolutionized quantum computing and AI algorithms. Starting in his garage at age 19, Nexus had built the company anonymously, using pseudonyms and shell corporations to shield his identity. By 25, Nexus was valued at over $10 billion, powering everything from government defense systems to major corporations' backends, all without Ethan's face ever appearing in the press. He had chosen reclusion to avoid the spotlight, reinvesting profits into R&D and philanthropy. His latest coup? Quietly acquiring controlling interest in Vanderbilt Ventures through layered investments as a protective measure against the family's aggressive tactics that he had observed from afar. For 18 months, Ethan endured the barbs. He prepared simple meals that were critiqued as too basic, organized family outings where he was sidelined, and listened as Victoria boasted about her unassailable empire. Serena, unaware of his secrets, grew concerned about his lack of ambition, though she loved his quiet support. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt Ventures teetered on the edge. Over-leveraged investments in failing startup, coupled with a looming antitrust probe from rivals like Apex Tech, led by the cutthroat CEO, Marcus Hale. One foggy evening in late 2025, the family convened in the sleek conference room of the estate for a crisis meeting. Holographic displays flickered with grim financial charts, casting ethereal glows on the glass table. Victoria paced, her heels clicking sharply. "Apex is gunning for us. They've snapped up 25% of our shares through back channels. If they hit 51%, we're finished. Serena, ideas?" Serena, exhausted from late nights, sighed. "We need fresh capital, a strategic partner to fend off Hale." Harold's portrait loomed on the wall as if judging them. Ethan, seated quietly in the corner, sipped his coffee. What about pivoting to quantum tech? It could disrupt your portfolio and block acquisitions. Victoria rolled her eyes. Quantum? That's sci-fi nonsense. You're not even part of this, Ethan. Go tinker with your toys. The words hung heavy, but Ethan smiled faintly. I might know someone who could help. Serena touched him arm. Sweetie, not now. That night, in their minimalist bedroom with views of the twinkling city lights, Serena confronted him. Mom's right sometimes. You could do more. Get a job at the firm? He pulled her close. It's time you knew the truth, Serena. The following morning, the boardroom at Vanderbilt Ninchers hummed with anxiety. Shareholders conferenced in via secure links, their avatars stern. Marcus Hale joined virtually, his smirk pixelated but unmistakable. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria began, her voice steady despite the sweat on her brow, we stand strong. Apex's so-called merger is a hostile grab, but Vanderbilt Ventures will prevail. The doors slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Ethan entered, clad in a tailored suit that transformed his unassuming frame into one of quiet authority. Murmurs rippled. What's he doing here? A board member whispered. Victoria's face twisted. Ethan, this is no place for... He raised a hand, his tone calm and commanding. Actually, it is. As the majority shareholder, I have every right. The room froze. Serena's jaw dropped. Victoria choked on her water. Marcus Hale leaned into his camera. Majority? Preposterous. We've monitored every transaction. Ethan distributed encrypted tablets. Not everyone. Through Klein Enterprises, my holding company, I've secured 52% over the years, discreetly, via proxies. Pandemonium erupted. Victoria scanned the data, her hands trembling. This is fraud. You? A nobody from nowhere? Ethan met her gaze evenly. A nobody who outmaneuvered you. I started with a laptop in a garage, Victoria. While you inherited your throne, I coded mine. Your firm's blind spots? I exploited them, buying when you overextended. Serena stood, voice cracking. Ethan, how? Why hide it? He softened. I wanted you to love me for me, not my billions, and I needed to see if this family valued more than status. Victoria sputtered. You conniving parasite! You've been scheming all along. No, Ethan replied coolly. You've been your own undoing, dismissing me as pathetic, assuming I was worthless. Now the dynamics shift. Hale laughed on screen. This is gold. But if you're in control, what's the play? Sell to me? Ethan shook his head. No, I'm infusing capital, my capital, to innovate. Quantum integration, ethical AI, Vanderbilt Ventures will evolve under new leadership. Victoria blustered. You can't. I can, he cut in, and I will. I'm stepping in as CEO. The board whispered frantically. One loyalist protested. A vote! Ethan nodded to his entering team, lawyers and tech experts, and projected ownership proofs. The vote was swift. His majority sealed it. As the meeting dissolved, reporters mobbed the lobby, alerted by an anonymous tip. Headlines screamed, Reclusive tech mogul unmasks in Vanderbilt takeover. Serena pulled Ethan into a side office. I'm shocked, but impressed. Hurt, too. He cupped her face. I love you, Serena. This isn't vengeance. It's about proving value isn't inherited, it's created. Back at the estate, Victoria raged, smashing a vase. I won't stay under his roof. But Ethan called a family summit that night. I'm not ousting you, but respect is non-negotiable. Victoria, perhaps mentor startups at my incubator. Step out of your echo chamber. In the months that followed, Vanderbilt Ventures metamorphosed. Ethan's quantum tech, drawn from Nexus, catapulted profits by 50%. Stock rocketed. Employees lauded the collaborative culture he instilled. Serena, now his co-CEO, reignited her passion, working alongside her husband. Victoria begrudgingly adapted. A stint at the incubator humbled her, revealing talents beyond boardrooms. She even apologized, tearfully, one evening over dinner. Ethan's story became folklore in the valley, the pathetic husband who was a hidden titan. He launched initiatives for underrepresented founders, especially those from humble roots, affirming that true innovation thrives in obscurity. And in the heart of the empire he subtly claimed, Ethan Klein Vanderbilt led, not as a conqueror, but as an architect, forging disdain into triumph.